We trying to make it to the big dance, NCAA, baby. I mean, that's why we all play basketball. But that's our main focus. But we just want to continue to get better every day in practice and just grow as a team more so than focus on our opponents.
Hello everyone, I'm Joe Zgacki and welcome to Hurricane Game Day with women's head basketball coach Katie Meier. Josh Darrow also joins me on the show. And coming up on the program, Coach Meier joins us in the studio to talk Miami Hurricanes women's basketball. We'll take a look back at the National Girls and Women in Sports Clinic hosted by the Hurricanes, and we'll give you a sneak peek at our next unlimited access with one of the Canes' more vocal supporters. And you don't want to miss this. Don't go anywhere. Hurricane Game Day starts right now.
Good. Nice, good. Where's the shooter? Oh, yeah! Miami!
Welcome to Hurricane Game Day here on CSS with University of Miami head coach Katie Meier. I'm Joe Zgacki. Josh Darrow also joins me here on the set as we continue talking University of Miami women's basketball, off to a great start this year. And Coach, we'll get to the Duke game in a moment, but overall, top four in the ACC right now. ACC got to be the best conference in women's basketball.
No question. You know, we've had 6 teams ranked most of the season, and you know, I think that's neat. It's also a young conference, and I think a team like Miami and Maryland, without any seniors, and you see these 2 teams in the top 4 right now in the conference, and understanding that the tradition of the ACC will continue to be the top conference in women's basketball.
Coach, as you look at the early part of the schedule and then the season and what you've been able to accomplish as you sort of fight for position through the league, you've been able to put yourself in a good spot heading into the last part of the season.
Well, you know, the ACC scheduling, we only play 14 games. So, you know, how the schedule is handed to you and what you do with what you're given is really important. And I thought we had a nice start. You know, we were on the road for 2 games, but there were 2 games that we took care of business. Then we had some really, really good competition, but we had them at home. And so now we're in a stretch here where we're going to play 4 or 5 ranked teams in a row, and we're going to see what we're made of, you know. But that you can't hide from the ranked teams if you play in the ACC. That's why you come to the ACC. That's why I wanted to coach at Miami. I want that.
You had the big win against Georgia Tech, then went on the road against Duke. A little speed bump there at Cameron Indoor.
Yeah, we really we had to get into our bench real early. We got into a lot of foul trouble, and we had lineups out there, and that's my fault as a coach. There were some lineups that we played at Duke that really hadn't practiced together much during the season. You know, we just had to really mask some things and try to get through it, and we learned from it. And you know, we're going to need that bench to come through for us in these next couple of games.
I like what you said. Well, you probably didn't like saying this, but you said when you were in the huddle, you didn't recognize the team. You said you missed my team. So
yeah, I did.
We got him back, right? We found him.
Yeah, we had a heck of a practice after that game, just really redefining who we are. And you know, sometimes you over-adjust. You know, we're going to be in a situation where we don't have as much size as some of the teams we're playing against. But sometimes you over-adjust as a team and as a coaching staff, and you forget who you are. And we just need to get back to that.
Probably not the first team that went to Cameron and got into foul trouble, but
no. Tends to happen.
That being said, as you mentioned, a good lesson for your squad,
right?
And probably makes them even a little bit more battle tested.
Sure, and you know, we have some young kids who are very important, but so does a lot of the ACC. So you know, you're never going to hear an excuse from me. I love it. I'm like, great, we needed that lesson, we got it. Let's take care of business. Let's learn from it, and let's work some different lineups together in practice and get ready for the next stretch.
All right. So in terms of adjusting for size, right? Maryland next up home. Could there be a bigger squad if we're going to adjust for size? They gave you the opponent in Maryland.
Honestly, I think they're the tallest team in Division I. I think they have something like 8 or 6 players over 6'2", and that's okay, you know, because we're one of the quickest teams in Division I, and then we're just going to have to see which wins, size or quickness. You
know, that's a very good point, I think, because you have found a style and you found a recipe that's going to work for the University of Miami. And it might be, you've done a great job recruiting, but when you're up against the Carolinas and the Dukes and Maryland, they're always getting the top 50 players. So you've got to find another way to compete.
Yeah, and I think that stylistically, now that we've established ourselves to being successful with this style, we really do have a lot of recruits that prefer our style, and I think that's really helping us. You know, at first we were playing it first couple years here that same style, but losing. And when you play that way, sometimes you lose big. And to have it just evolve and say, okay, we're going to stick with this style, but now we're going to fill in the talent and people that are real capable of excelling with this style instead of it being a disadvantage. We've really turned it into our advantage. That's one of the things I'm most proud of here.
You know, so Joe and I have been doing this a while, and we talk a lot about, we get to be around the coaches a bunch, and systems and styles and personnel, and we just come off the Super Bowl in Pittsburgh. They know their personnel, they know their style. So for you, as you adjust to this style and adapt it and really buy into it, I would also assume for recruiting and finding kids, as much as they like you can also go seek out the talent that fits in.
Yeah, and I think, we're not just going to be small. I mean, you have Shanice Pepper Wilson sitting there, and I would love to have subbed her in at the Duke game. Like, we do need size, and we're still working on that part of it. But I do think that there's a certain mentality about the way we play now that is established. It's established. It doesn't come and go. And that has to be consistent. And as long as that's consistent, we're going to really, be successful.
Good for you as a coach, too. You want to know that you have something to hang your hat on.
Right. Yes. And that's the one thing about the Duke game. I think that when we got in a little bit of foul trouble, we became very tentative, and we weren't attacking because we were protecting, and that's just not us. We just have to continue to attack.
All right, we'll got a great show lined up here, so stay with us as we continue because we are just getting warmed up. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll talk more hoops with Coach Meier, and we'll take a look back at the National Girls and Women in Sports Day Clinic, hosted by the Hurricanes at the Bank United Center. Hurricane Game Day on CSS is coming right back. Welcome back to Hurricane Game Day with University of Miami women's basketball coach Katie Meier, Joe Zagacki alongside Josh Darrow. And in a moment, we're going to talk about the sports clinic, the women's sports clinic that was held at the Bank United Center. But I'm curious, how did you get involved in sports? And we're going to talk a little bit about women's sports in general, how big they become, but how did you get involved?
Well, I had no choice, Joe. I have four older brothers,
Uh-oh.
and 3 older sisters.
Oh, boy.
It just was, sports. I don't remember not playing football in the front yard. I don't remember not playing basketball. My dad had to put wire cages over the lights in the front yard because we kept breaking the lights, rebounding and stuff off the rim. And so, we were just a very athletic family. And because of that, I just played everything. And then I was actually the first girl to play Little League in my hometown of Wheaton, Illinois. That's on my resume still.
Now, in your time here and just in your time participating in athletics, sort of the growth in women's sports, the interest in women's sports, this event we have is so good to bring, just bring young, interested children and girls to learn about the game and participate with the team.
It's neat because when I was younger, and that was a long time ago, but I didn't go and watch females compete. I would go and watch males compete. I'd go with my family, we'd go to the Bulls game, but I never saw a professional female team or even a college team. There's still, Title IX was just kind of getting started when I was about 8 years old. So for me now to, after a game, have the little boys come up to my girls and ask for their autographs, like that's when it really hits you. When a boy comes up to your female athlete and says, will you sign my shirt? To me, I do get very emotional in those moments.
The other thing is, and you once told me, and I have a daughter that plays, and you said the advice would be girls growing up have to know it's okay to be athletic and also pretty.
Right.
Or to be girly and athletic.
Yeah, you need permission to be aggressive. Right. When you're younger, the socialization of a female, and to go and just steal something from someone, I'd apologize. I had to say, please, thank you. And then my brothers they just beat that out of me. They said, you will compete. And so I just changed. And for females to see women competing, it's a good role model.
I like the stealing. I'm sure that on the basketball court, we're okay. We're all okay with stealing, right?
Right,
exactly. They take that basketball away from the opposition. Your team's doing a great job of that this year.
And when I grew up, there was 10 people in the family, but there's only 8 ho-hos in a box. So if you wanted a ho-ho, you had to go get your ho-ho, and that's just how I was raised.
Coach has always said we're going to go recruit the female that had brothers because
yes,
they know they know those are the girls that are going to come out swinging.
Right. And they'll certainly understand their head coach. Yeah.
All right, well, before the Hurricanes' big win at home against the Yellow Jackets, the University of Miami hosted a sports clinic on National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Student athletes from women's golf, rowing, swimming, diving, track and field, cross country, volleyball, cheerleading, and dance work with participants. And now, here's a closer look.
By show of hands, know what you want to be when you grow up. Parents, you see it now, you see it, okay? We're not just athletes, okay? We got here based on our athletic abilities, but we also got here because we did well in school, all right? So we have business women, we have lawyers, we have potential doctors back here, but then we have soccer players, volleyball players, and we have our men's sports as well. And so you guys really need to get through school, and if you want to play sports, that's a great way to get to college, but you won't be able to get there unless you have good grades, okay?
Good job!
Be able to meet all the women's sports players here at UM and just the feeling of community, the smiles on the faces, the excitement that you hear here, not only here but also at the game. The students maybe want to aspire to be one of the student athletes that are here today.
Today was just about bringing girls out to see powerful student athletes, young women like themselves, to serve as role models and to just really promote National Girl and Women in Sports Day.
Okay, we're all pumped up right here on the set. That must have been a great day. It's wonderful for the kids. That was before the game. Then after the game, your team showed a lot of appreciation. The fans were there, and they were able to get autographs and have a meet and greet with your team.
Yeah, sure. And they asked if I would do that before my team went in the locker room, and I said sure. I mean, that's what we do. You want to be involved in the community. Everyone, including my staff and my players, every one of us had someone older than them that showed them the way. And I love that my players can fill in that role for people.
I got to imagine it's got to be as rewarding for the kids.
Oh.
The kids that are asking for the autographs, as it is for your players to sit
Players
there
love
and
it.
give out to have someone want your autograph.
Right.
We're still waiting for that
Yeah.
kind of opportunity.
It was cute too, because a couple of my players asked for the autograph from the young one just to make them feel good. So yeah, I mean, it's just a great time, and I do love my team. I think they got a great spirit about them, and they're very grateful and thankful and appreciative of their opportunities.
The other thing you learn from that and from having all these clinics is while those kids might be 10, 11, and 12, soon they're either A, going to try to be players for you,
Always
or
recruiting,
B, they're fans.
Right.
Fans for life.
And they were great fans that day, and I know that the crowd really helped us with our energy level. And that's one thing as a head coach, you're asking your team to play hard for 40 minutes. I mean, they overextend themselves, and the crowd really does make a difference.
Well, and you're building nice home court advantage, slowly but surely, but you're building a home court advantage. All right, don't go anywhere. We are just getting started right here on Hurricane Game Day with University of Miami head coach Katie Meier. When we come back, we've got unlimited access, one of the biggest and loudest supporters of women's basketball at the U. We got a sneak preview of that coming up next in unlimited access. You don't want to go anywhere. We're coming right back here on CSS. Welcome back to Hurricane Game Day here on CSS. As Coach has mentioned on the show, the University of Miami women's basketball team is a family. That family doesn't end on the court, bench, or locker room. It continues into the stands and homes of the players and families. One of the biggest and more vocal supporters is Crystal Saunders' grandma, Lassie Towns. Here is part one of our unlimited access.
Let's go, Kane! Girl, I'm ready. True Kane. Yeah! Oh, yeah! Let's go, Canes! Da, 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 da. Ah, with the ball! Get the ball! We need the ball! Thank you, Sammy! That's right! Let's go, Canes! Denise Sunshine! Yeah, let's do it, baby! Let's do it! Go, baby. That's all right. Go, boy! All right! And one! And one! And one! Come on, Randy. Be there, baby. Woo. Oh! He tried. He tried. Let's go! Take your time, Janine. Take your time. Yeah. Come on, defense. Take that ball. Take that ball, defense. Take that ball. Take that ball, defense. Take that ball. Yeah. Go, Sebastian. Looking good, Lady Kane. Laquana! Laquana! What's going on, baby? Stay in the face, Crystal. Stay in the face. All right, Mariah. Let's do it, baby. Well, watch this. Can't touch this.
It has to be continued. That is so good. We need to see more. That is a one family, one person home court advantage.
Oh, absolutely. Nana, we call her Nana, and she should be hosting the show. She's just a ton of energy, just great personality, and all of Crystal's family. And it's nice, you know, local kid, and was player of the year in the state of Florida, and it's just great to keep him home and let their families cheer for him.
I think we should start just a new feature. She should be we need to mic up Grandma for every game. That was awesome. That was highly entertaining.
Right.
Can we get her a seat at the end of the bench? Maybe she'd be very inspirational.
Well, that's Mariah Brown's auntie, who also lives in Florida. That's behind our bench. You got to get her one time.
Okay.
You know, I think what you get out of that also is the greatest thrill for any relative, any parent or grandparent, is watching their son, daughter, grandson, granddaughter play in any sport. It's just an unbelievable experience.
Right, and that whole row, Crystal's family, you know, they're way before the game starts, and they're just pumping them up. And the kids, our players, do feed off their energy. They're very positive people, and that really helps our energy.
Well, you could tell how enthusiastic they are. The pregame music, they're dancing, they got Sebastian. They're trying to wheel in Sebastian for some entertainment. I mean, they are. That's a great, fun, awesome bunch.
You know, and it's a kind of reflective of our team. We have a tremendous personality, and I don't try to dampen it or you know, keep them muted. I mean, that's us. We are very emotional. We're reactive. We're entertaining. We have a flair to us, and I definitely want our crowd to get that feeling too.
We're going to talk about Maryland and Carolina coming up and some of the things going on in the court. But just for an extra moment while we're on the family aspect, again, that's one of the things that I don't think the fans see about the kids is there are parents involved and friends, and really this is all about the college experience as well.
Well, and that's also something very unique to Miami. I think as a university, you know, we are a very tight family. It's a small classes, small athletic department. Coaches know each other, the athletes know each other. And when you come to our game, it's an intimate setting. And after the game, we're going to be accessible to our fans. And so therefore, there's a lot of personal relationships, and then you just cheer a lot harder for somebody that you've met and you know.
I have to ask you this. Your mom and dad are in the studio.
Yes, they are. Yeah. Yes.
Did your mom cheer like that?
I don't think she had the rhythm.
Who could match that? I mean, that's top-notch cheering right there for Lassie 10. But the other thing too, she knows the game.
Oh yeah.
Right, take the ball,
absolutely.
hand in the face, let's go. And she's a
Right.
team player, right? Raquana, Shanice.
She's cheering for everybody.
It doesn't matter.
That's right.
Doesn't
And
matter
it's
who's
true.
playing.
I mean, family is very important to all of us. Our staff, Keeger's parents were in town last week. My parents will be here for this month, and we just have this incredibly close sharing atmosphere at this place, and it's just a lot of fun to see it all finally become a successful program to where everybody has had a role, including grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins. They have a role in supporting these young ladies to be the best they can.
You're going into another tough stretch. How do you feel about your team right now, where they are mentally and physically?
Well, if you want to be an NCAA team, you're going to play ranked opponents game after game after game. I mean, that's what the NCAA – so that's what we need to be, and we need to show up, and we need to be able to compete and beat some of these people. And I think beating a ranked team in Georgia Tech was really, really important. Going on the road and beating a ranked team, we still have to prove.
Okay, when we come back, we'll talk more about the upcoming schedule for the University of Miami women's team. It's a tough one coming up, Maryland and Carolina. We'll do that as we continue with Katie Meier right here on Hurricane Game Day on CSS. All right, welcome back to Hurricane Game Day with University of Miami women's head coach Katie Meier here on CSS. Joe Zagacki with Josh Darrow. Big week for the Hurricane women, Maryland and North Carolina. Maryland at the Bank United Center, Carolina on the road. And Maryland, as Josh mentioned earlier, they've got some size.
Right.
Both these squads played for the championship a couple of years ago.
Right. They're the two best rebounding teams in the conference, really. I mean, they're so committed to it. They're so athletic, and they're long. They're long in every position. I mean, their guards are 6'2", both teams. So, we have a real challenge in terms of preparing. It's convenient in a sense that, similar concepts for both teams. You got to hit the boards. We're going to box out early. We're going to have to keep them what we call off the umbrella, off the three-point line, and really try to use our quickness to our advantage. But awesome teams. I mean, 2 top 15 teams in a row, and that's, like I said, I mean, I don't think we're hosting the NCAA tournament. We're going to have to go on the road and beat somebody sometime and really prove ourselves. And so Maryland at home and at Carolina, we got to take care of business.
I got to also think for the kids, they probably adopted the same mindset in terms of they welcome the challenge of every game's exciting, but when you're probably just a tad more when you're going back to back top 15 teams. They got to get pretty geeked up for that.
And it's so fun to game plan, and then with the players and watching film with them, and they go, oh, and they see our advantage, and we'll point out something here. We think we have a how to beat section, HTB, how to beat, and that's a big part of our films, like how we're going to beat this team. So we prepare them in a sense of not this is what Maryland does or this is what Carolina does, but this is what Miami has to do in order to win, and that's how we prepare our team so they get a little bit more confidence. It's not just memorizing the other team, but how to beat, how to beat, how to beat. We keep putting that in their head, and they love that segment.
Well, we don't want to give away too many secrets, but how do you beat Maryland?
Rebounds. You have to rebound. They are an unbelievable rebounding team. And, we have to hit early shots. It's a sense when a team's really, really big, the more half court you run, the closer to the basket is advantage them. So we have to, get some transition shots, and that's no secret. I mean, Miami, in order to win, has to hit shots in transition. That's what we always have to do. So not a big change, but certainly a big challenge.
Also, when you look ahead to North Carolina just a little bit, good defensive team with some size, as you mentioned, but they also put up a lot of points.
Right.
So you also have to keep up.
Oh, yeah. Both teams this week are incredible scoring. Talented. I mean, they're for sure teams that should be in the Elite Eight. I mean, we're talking about some of the best teams in the country, and they're playing great. Both teams are playing great basketball right now as well. So, we do have a challenge, and I like it because we can be hungry and kind of go after it a little bit more.
All right, great show. We're going to have more from Crystal's grandma next week on the show, and that'll be entertaining. We'll also review Maryland and North Carolina.
We're also taking recommendations on
right.
people to
Who
mic
else
up.
The best of luck, Coach.
Thank you so much.
All right, Hurricanes are playing great in the ACC. That's going to do it for University of Miami women's head coach Katie Meier and Josh Darrow and the entire crew. I'm Joe Zagacki. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week right here on CSS.